Now I'd like to invite Mr. John MacLennan, Chair of Australian Red Cross Advisory Board, New South Wales, to deliver his speech, please.
Good evening, everybody, and what a wonderful evening it's been so far, and I'm sure it will continue in that mode for the rest of the evening. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we're coming together tonight. That's the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I also acknowledge and heartily thank Dr. Anthony Chung, the President of the Sydney Chinese Lions, and all of the members of the organising committee who've made this evening possible. Thank you very much for all the work that you've done in preparing. I'd like to add my welcome to the Australian President of Australian Red Cross, Mr. Ross Pinney, and his wife Fran, and to our Chief of Staff, Penny Harrison, who have travelled from Melbourne to be with us tonight. That, in my view, is a clear indication of the importance with which Australian Red Cross views the relationship between us and the Sydney Chinese Lions. So thanks to Ross and his wife and to Penny for coming up from Melbourne today. I appreciate that. I'm also joined at our tables tonight by New South Wales board members, by some of our senior staff, and a number of members and volunteers of Australian Red Cross in New South Wales, and thank you to them for coming along and joining us tonight as well. On behalf of all of us at Australian Red Cross, I bring thanks and best wishes to everyone who has contributed to this wonderful event. To President Anthony Chung, to the Ball Organising Committee, to the individuals and the businesses who have donated prizes for tonight's auctions. They've been mentioned previously, and we're very grateful for their support. To those who've made monetary donations to the Australian Red Cross, and to each and every one of you who has come along tonight to show your support, not only for the Sydney Chinese Lions, but also to the Australian Red Cross and the work that we do. The Australian Red Cross is honoured and extremely grateful to have been chosen as the major beneficiary for this year's charity ball. The relationship between the Australian Red Cross and the Sydney Chinese Lions, as Anthony pointed out in his speech, goes back many years, and I say long may that relationship continue. I'm confident that everyone here tonight already knows some of the work done by Australian Red Cross in the Australian community. The images of the terrible bushfires of the summer of 2019-2020 are still fresh in the minds of many of us. That summer came to be known as the Black Summer. The ongoing recovery of many of the affected communities continues to this day. Red Cross had key roles both during the fires and after them. The Australian Red Cross Bushfire Appeal raised an astounding $242 million to help those who were affected by the fires, almost all of which was distributed as direct grants to people affected by the fires. Just 2 years after the bushfires, and only a year ago now, the disastrous floods occurred in many areas of New South Wales and in Queensland, including Western Sydney, I might add. Lismore in northern New South Wales was particularly hard hit, being flooded twice in 1 month. The Australian Red Cross Flood Appeal and Telethon arising from that disaster raised more than $55 million to affect people affected by it and the communities who were affected as well. Now, our emergency services work during natural disasters is well publicised and well known, but it's only one aspect of the work we do to help vulnerable people across Australia. We work with people who are doing it tough, people suffering mental illness, people who are socially isolated, and with recently arrived migrants. The money raised here tonight will support all of these vital programs and activities. Without your support and the ongoing support of the Australian community generally, we simply wouldn't be able to do the work that we do and wouldn't be able to help as many people as we help. I'd like at this point to show a short video which illustrates much more eloquently than I can say the scope of the work which you are supporting this evening. I hope you'll see in the faces in the video the passion of our Red Cross staff and our volunteers and the relief and gratitude of the people we are assisting during their times of greatest vulnerability. If we could go to the video.
It was terrible. We were trying to get out of the house and the water was all of a sudden was up to my knee.
That big monster coming, you can see I got goosebumps now. For Malabugama, and I can honestly say for our community, we wasn't prepared.
Когда я приехала в Австралию, это был начало марта 2022 года, было очень тяжело и морально, и физически. Морально то, что творится ситуация в Украине, я днем и ночью думала об этом. Я очень волновалась за своих друзей, которые там остались, потому что я волновалась, но я была уже в безопасности. А друзья, коллеги, ну вообще вся Украина оставалась в опасности.
To the Red Cross, got to thank you guys. We wouldn't
No, thank
be
you,
now
too. Thank you,
prepared.
guys.
The Red Cross, reassuring, beautiful people.
We can't say thank you enough.
Once again, thank you very much, everybody. Have a fabulous evening. Cheers.